And welcome to PM Express tonight. At long last, as you now know, the E-Levy has been passed at 1.50%. And the finance minister is giving the strongest indication yet when you are going to start paying for this, which is from May. So we're expecting that from 1st May, you should be paying 1.50% more when you do electronic transactions. We'll break it down for you shortly. As Nkrumah said that when we gain our independence, at long last, the battle has ended. Has it really? Tonight on the show, we're going to be delving into the legal hurdles that the E-Levy will have to now overcome, mainly at the Supreme Court, where the 3 members of Parliament have gone now, challenging the legality, the constitutionality of Parliament decision to pass it. I'm going to have a one-on-one conversation with one of the plaintiffs, Mahama Yarega, MP for Bawku Central, is my guest tonight on PM Express. But let's break down what Parliament passed yesterday, because there were some amendments, that I need to bring to your attention. One of the first amendments that indeed you now would have noticed, it used to be 1.75%. The finance minister was on the floor yesterday and asked the House to amend that to 1.50%. So that is the first major amendment to the law. The second major amendment is that you may have heard the controversy that erupted over the suggestion that the finance ministry and government were going to hire a private company to now monitor the collection of the E-Levy at a very extortionate amount. Well, that is no longer going to be the case. And so this amendment was introduced yesterday that the private service providers have been prohibited now from monitoring and evaluating anything that has to do with the E-Levy. So that's where we are with that. So that has been taken out of the bill. And then also, a new clause that has been into the GRA shall submit a quarterly report on the performance to the finance minister on the E-Levy. And we heard today from the GRA, they said to us that they are ready in their systems and they've been doing some work already in anticipation of its passage, and that now that it's happened, they're ready to collect this for the finance ministry and for the government of Ghana. And this clause in the bill now means that the GRA will have to be rendering account to the finance ministry how much you've been collecting on a quarterly basis. Now, the importance of this, and we are now getting some clarity of this, the finance minister needs this quarterly update so that they can monitor whether they are achieving the targets that they set for themselves in terms of how much money they are expecting to make. The finance minister has indicated that if they see that people are avoiding Momo, for example, and shifting to other areas of electronic transaction, this quarterly report will inform the finance minister whether they should make some further amendments, go back to Parliament, make some further amendments to the E-Levy bill so they can retarget, rechannel this particular law that requires that you pay 1.50. So this is very important, in fact, to the process of getting money for the state. So that is why the GRA has been asked to do this quarterly reporting to the government. Now, the finance minister also shall provide an update on the levy in a mid-year budget review. And so we will get a first look at how the E-Levy collection is faring when the finance minister goes to Parliament for the mid-year budget review. So that will give us a very interesting thought on how effective a E-Levy is in meeting the revenue demands that we have. Now, one other key amendment, the cost of collection of the E-Levy shall not exceed 1% of the total amount collected. And this clause now has been withdrawn from what was approved in Parliament. The minority we know, and this is the subject of our conversation tonight on PM Express, they have dragged the Attorney General to the Supreme Court over the approval of the E-Levy. Their fundamental argument is that as at the time that the questions were posed for the second and third readings, the consideration stage, and the passage of the bill itself, Parliament lacked what the Supreme Court recently termed a voting quorum. And the voting quorum is 138 members of Parliament. That's the fundamental argument. That's why they went to the Supreme Court. They want the Supreme Court to, as a result of that, annul the passage of the E-Levy. So it is a question of numbers, right? Question of numbers. We'll come to that. But if you look at and this is a Parliament vote and proceedings, this is the record of the House. The record of the House says they have present is 166 people. people. In fact, it's 266 people, 266 people. Not this is from what we know, and I'll put that to Mama Yaga very shortly. 266 people in the House, and so were present. And this word is a very important word. It is found in the constitutional provision 104.1, which is it's in controversy. What does present mean, and how would the Supreme Court interpret that? It would be very interesting indeed, because it's 266 is what the official record of Parliament says when it comes to those who were present. And so, was there a quorum or not? Was there a voting quorum? We'll talk about that very shortly. Now, but there's some interesting things I need to point out quickly before we sit down for the conversation. Since E-Levy was mooted, if you look at 2008 to January 2020, we begin to see something very interesting happening, active mobile money accounts. And I want you to pay attention to December to January. You see the upward trajectory that active mobile money accounts were on. They were increasing substantially, right? And then you come to December 2021, when the E-Levy was mooted and the controversy started in Parliament, you begin to see a drop in active mobile money accounts. That is an interesting thing. People were already reacting to the E-Levy, shutting down the account or withdrawing their monies, whatever it is, but we see the numbers going down. This is the Bank of Ghana telling us this. That is not all. Again, the value of transactions also began to drop. So we are talking about something in the region. In December, we're doing 82 billion cedis. That's a lot of money. And then in January, it's dropped to 76 billion. Again, according to Bank of Ghana. That tells you something, right? The effect of the E-Levy. So we're seeing the downward trajectory there. And then it's continuous. If you look at the active mobile money accounts now, again compared, you see, again, this is dropping. So people are already beginning to react to the mobile money. They are reacting with their feet. They are moving, closing their mobile money accounts, and it's dropping. So that will begin to affect how much the Finance Ministry anticipates to raise. And again, total value of transactions, again, if you look at 2021 June to January, similar story emerges of a downward trajectory. Again, compared to December to now, to January of 2022, again, you begin to see the drop there. This is clearly what's happening there. And then you go back to the Africa story when it comes to similar, levies on the continent. The story shows that it hasn't been consistent, and the sustainability of the policy itself as a tool for revenue generation isn't as great a tool, because you see in Uganda, they started as about 1%. We are 1.5. They started at 1%. After public protest, they decided to bring it down all the way to 0.5%, 50% drop. That is one of the key things to note. Congo, also 1%, replaced with cash outs only. Again, lessons learned there. Côte d'Ivoire, they started at 0.5%, withdrawn after public outcry. Malawi, 1%, withdrawn after public outcry. Benin, 5% on Momo operators, implemented under widespread public opposition. But this is interesting on Momo operators. So they were paying not on your cash, but the operators will pay for it. Cameroon, 0.2% is 0.2%. Very low mark there. Many have said in Ghana, start very low and then you increase it incrementally. But it's been passed already. As I've said tonight, it's subject of a Supreme Court action.